things that define who you are. Are you ready? Here they are: social conditioning, DNA, and then personal choice. Now, what do those three things mean? My wife and I, we worked with over 100 students. We actually were house parents. We lived with over 100 students. Out of those 100 students, they came to us with those three things. In fact, we all have those three things. What are they again? Social conditioning, DNA, and then personal choice. This is fascinating to think about. A lot of people, a lot of social scientists say that who you become or who you turn out to be is all about your social conditioning. So if you come from a tough situation, right, from a broken situation, then you're going to be a broken person. And then we have the scientists, right, the doctors who believe that, no, it's not about the social conditioning, it's about your DNA. It's really about what your makeup is. That's who defines who you are. It's not social conditioning, it's your DNA. And I'm here to tell you this: while those things are powerful, your social conditioning, your DNA, it absolutely plays a role. But I want to tell you the most powerful piece, and that is personal choice. And I'm going to tell you why and how I know, because I live with 100 students. And out of those 100 students, many of them came from broken situations, from tough areas. And you know what? You would think because of the way they were socially conditioned, right, that they would make poor choices in life or they wouldn't be able to be successful. That's not the case. The social conditioning, right, it doesn't matter because they've gone on and they were successful in school and they've gone on, they've been successful afterwards. And it's not the DNA either. What it comes down to is personal choice. What are you going to do with the decisions that you're faced with? How are you going to choose? That is what is going to define who you and I become. It defines who you and I are. It comes down to personal choice. Social conditioning is powerful. DNA is powerful. But the greatest of all of those, the greatest of the three, is personal choice. You and I get to decide every single day when we wake up, what decisions are we going to make? How are we going to tackle the day? And I'll leave you with this last example. It's about a little girl. Her name was Rose. Rose grew up in the projects of Johnstown, Pennsylvania. When Rose was 4 years old, her father was put in prison for murder. Rose's mother struggled with a mental illness, and as Rose began to grow older, her mother's mental illness got worse. And one of Rose's most vivid memories growing up, her mother used to mask her pain with drinking alcohol, and they lived in a small apartment, so they shared a bed. And Rose woke up in the middle of the night one time covered in her mom's vomit because her mom had been out drinking, came home and got sick. Her mother's illness continued to progress, and when Rose was 7 years old, her mother attempted suicide by jumping off of a bridge, and later, 2 months later in the hospital, died from the complications of the jump. Here's the thing: Rose lived with her older sister, who was 7 years older, and a twin sister, along with her grandmother in the projects. And not only 3 months after her mother passed away, her grandmother passed away as well. So now Rose had lost her father to prison. She lost her mother and her grandmother to the grave within 3 months. Here's the thing: there was nobody who was taking them in, and then an aunt took them in who happened to live in Harrisburg, and that's right where we are today. We're at the bridge that goes to City Island in Harrisburg, and her aunt took her and her three sisters in. Rose moved to Harrisburg, and she was only there for 3 months, and she was crossing the street. Didn't look both ways. She got hit by a car. The impact was so great that she was hospitalized for 5 months. She flatlined in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The EMTs brought her back to life. And if you talk to Rose today and you say, "Hey, Rose, what was that like during that time, that period in her life?" and she'll tell you that it was the absolute most loneliest period of her life as she sat there in that hospital. Now, here's the thing: her older sister had become her primary caregiver, right? When she was in the hospital, her older sister didn't get along with her aunt. They picked up knives, they cut each other. Her older sister ran out of the house, and Rose never saw her again. So now she lost her father to prison, she lost her mother and her grandmother to the grave, and she lost the only other person who cared about her, which was her older sister. And so you can imagine, right, the social conditioning, the pain that she was going through, experiencing all that trauma. But here's the good part, right? her aunt realized that she didn't have what was needed to take care of her, so she enrolled her in this place called Milton Hershey School. And she went into a student home and she lived with a married couple for the first time in her life. And for the next 5 years, she excelled while she was there at the school. In fact, she did so well, she earned a scholarship and she attended Messiah College, which is about 20 minutes away from here. She graduated with a bachelor's degree. She went on, she started working in the work world, and she then went on and she got her master's degree. And if you haven't guessed who I'm talking about yet, I'm talking about my beautiful wife. Her full name is Deanna Rose Slammons. And the reason I give you that example is this. Listen, social conditioning is powerful. DNA is powerful, but the most powerful thing that you and I get to choose every day is personal choice. She's my hero because even though she experienced all that trauma, she chose every day to be successful and to make decisions that were going to lead to success. So listen, remember, every day when you and I wake up, make that personal choice that this day is going to be the day that you're going to give the best effort and you're going to be excellent in everything that you do.